Hello, my name is Andy Cox, and I am a social worker. And I'm a social worker at the Children's Hospital in Halifax, IWK Mental Health and Addictions part of the hospital. Sometimes social workers get a bad rep. Sometimes still, we often get, oh, a social worker is one of those people who goes into homes and takes away children. One type of social worker, the child welfare social worker, doesn't just go in and take children from the homes. But they do have the tough job on working on behalf of the province and the courts to make sure homes are safe and children are safe. And sometimes that does mean apprehension. But there's so many different types of social workers. As I said, I work with IWK Mental Health and Addictions. And my role at IWK is to help our youth, is to create partnerships actually with community organizations, strong partnerships, and help our youth in our programs get connected to these organizations. So we'll have a youth at IWK Mental Health and Addictions, and maybe I'll help that person get hooked up with an organization such as Langhouse, McPhee Center, YWCA. That's my main part of my job as a social worker there. We also have clinical social workers, and those are the staff who are often in our doing the therapy. So often in our clinics, seeing families and youth, and actually getting down and doing the actual therapy with the youth. And then with jobs like mine, I'm able to take those youth into the community and they can practice what they learn in therapy. Just some other types of social work fields. This is social workers for abused women, and that may mean clinically clinical treatment, that may mean counseling, that may mean navigating and advocating to get women help. Also, victims of crime, seniors, which I'd like to try someday in my career, homelessness, new arrivals to Canada, and family mediation. So when a couple are separating and they have a children, and what's the best way to try to set up what happens after separation. So different levels of social work, or different realms, I guess. So I have a Bachelor of Social Work. So usually, while doing things that I do, community work, community development, capacity building. So really working with community and the grassroots organizations. The Masters of Social Work are the clinicians that I mentioned earlier, and they do mostly the therapy, in-office clinical therapy, in our case, for youth with mental health difficulties. And of course, you can go on your PhD, which often are researchers, but I know a lot of the researchers who are still doing frontline social work as well. And I've been lucky to be included in some of the research, even at a bachelor's level. So youth homelessness, I've done peer support, so youth living with mental illness, offering support to other youth living with mental illness. And also I'm doing some work with transitioning our youth from the youth system into the adult system, which is quite a leap for anybody, but especially when somebody's suffering with mental health difficulties. Now, to get those degrees, there's quite a few across the country who offer bachelor's, some offer masters, and some that offer PhD. And I guess the closest one, and where I went to in Halifax, is Dalhousie. So not all of them are like this, but I'll use Dalhousie as an example. A lot of these social work programs, some of them are kind of more clinical, so learning the clinical skills to become a clinician, and then also the kind of the social justice stream, the community critical theory stream. But some universities are trying to have bring them together. There was for a time there, some social workers were going in wanting to become clinicians and not having that clinical piece. So I think the universities are doing a better job at doing that. Now, how do you get in there? How do you become a social worker? So in grade 12, right out of high school, you cannot, I'll talk about Dalhousie, and feel free to look up the other ones, but most of them are like Dalhousie, but you can't apply from high school. You have to have at least 1 year of university in, in subjects similar to social work. But even 1 year, it's rare for somebody to get in after 1 year. It's usually somebody has to have 2 years of regular university first, and even then, it's still quite hard to get in. So it'd be good to take the first 2 years courses. The first 2 years of courses, things that have to do with people and social work, and sociology, anthropology, philosophy, that kind of thing. Also, to help you get in would be life experiences and volunteer work. And I'm not suggesting go out and do volunteer work just to get into the program. I want you to, do volunteer work because you want to do volunteer work, and hopefully that will lead anything working with people. Think of summer camps for specific populations like disabilities or whatever. Unfortunately, this year, of course, there's not going to be a lot of that going on. But for volunteer, I know libraries who we use a lot, not just for books and computers. Libraries have really neat groups, evening groups and afternoon groups with be it youth or seniors or anything. So, and they're always looking for volunteers. So volunteering for those groups would be awesome. Going to seniors' homes if that's the kind of the direction you want to go. The IWK has a summer program for students. Probably not this year, but a program that's a volunteer and a real good for your reference. Just a drop-in for persons with disabilities. So yeah, all these different types of places are always often looking for volunteers. The other thing too is a neat thing is that DAL social work, or just some of the DAL humanity courses often are giving free talks for the public, for students in the public. So just feel free to take advantage of those. Sometimes we have them at the IWK, and there's also often universities across the country doing webinars. So hopefully that gives a bit of an idea. It's too bad we can't be in person so I could take some questions, but hopefully that sparked somebody's interest. Feel free to, if you have questions, feel free to email me at andy.cox@iwk.nshealth.ca. So andy.cox@iwk.nshealth.ca. And now that I think about it, there are a few things that have kind of come across my desk that they're looking for, youth engagement or youth leadership, and those are the kind of things that would help getting to decide whether you want to go social work and also get into school. Okay, thank you.